Good evening. Now today, children, we all have gathered here and we all must be wondering, there is so many people sitting in this room. Some of you are speaking Hindi at home, some of you are speaking Bangla, some of you might be speaking Tamil, whereas some of you might be speaking, say, Marathi. We do have exchange students here and they have come from the heartland of the US. Some of them are from Nepal. So we come from different kinds of backgrounds. We eat different kind of food. Some of us are fond of rajma chawal, whereas the others love to eat, continental food. Some of us love to eat rice, whereas the others love to eat bread. We all have different kinds of choices, yet there is something that holds us all together. So what is it that holds us all together? Is it the feel of being in the same country? No, it's not only that, because we are having so many people from different parts of the world also living in our country, and they have accepted India as their own country. So you can see there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fingers on my hand. Yet all the fingers together, it makes one hand. It is the unity of all the fingers that holds my hand together. So the word unity is extremely important. We all must understand that humanity is something that is holding us all together. So many, migrants are there in India and they all are respecting our country. Many of our Indians have gone and settled down in various parts of the world. They love the country where they're living. So it is the unity of the heart that holds people together. It is the humanity that is binding the people together. Coming specifically to India, today we are talking about unity in diversity. So, India is a country of many ethnic groups. Will you understand what is the meaning of the word ethnic? Ethnic is coming from different regional background, different religious background, different ethnic nationalities they could be coming from, and they speak a variety of tongues and they wear different modes of apparels, they wear different languages. The script of the language that they write is also very different. So for the most part, the continental dimensions of the country, it holds the account of its variation and diversities, right? Though India is a beautifully developed country, it is spread across right from Himalayas to the Bay of Bengal, and it is stretching on one side towards Gujarat, touching into Pakistan, and whereas on the eastern side it's touching Myanmar, and the other side is touching Bangladesh. We have Nepal on the other side, and it is a beautiful country with diverse type of climate. Not only this, there are different people following various religions living here. There are Hindus who are the followers of Shiva and Vishnu. There are those who are following Buddhism. There are Jains in our country. There are followers of Hazrat Muhammad. There are followers of Christianity. So all these people have different kind of beliefs. They have different set of ideologies. But there are certain common links and uniting bonds, that people have sought to develop in order to achieve the eminently desirable goal of unity amidst diversity. So all the religions, the people could be of different religions, but then if they have one common thought that they come from the common land, that is India, even if they live in India or they live abroad, they will still have the feeling for their country. So it is true that superficial observers are likely to be bewildered by the astonishing variety of Indian life. We have people celebrating Holi, Diwali and various other festivities, yet we don't believe in dividing the country into parts. We all are one. What is really needed is the superior interpretation or the synthesis of the power of the mind, that can give rise to a vision of the whole. So it is the mind which has to hold the people together, and interpreting it in the righteous manner depends on the kind of values that the children are given in the schools and in the families. A very keen penetration insight will not fail to recognize the fundamental unity beneath the manifold variety in India. So, united we stand, divided we fall. As history is a testimony to the fact that when the various smaller, kingdoms of the country thought of their own self, they fell a prey to the foreign aggression, and then we had, colonialism in our country. We became a colony. So it's a message for all the Indians that we could be living differently, we could be thinking differently, but in our heart we all must stand for our country. It is a country that should come first and not the region that we are belonging to. The diversity itself, far from being a damaging cause of disunity and weakness, is a fertile source of strength and wealth. Because diversity is something that gives us that added zing, or the life would be so boring. Imagine what if you had to eat rice and lentils every day? It would be so boring. We have a variety of dosas, idlis, continental food, pizzas, burgers, makki ki roti, etc. So it is the diversity which gives a zing, yet at the same time we have to think not about only ourselves, but about the bigger picture, the bigger India. There was a person whose name is Sir Herbert Leslie. He has rightly observed, beneath the manifold diversity of physical and social types, languages, customs and religions which strike the observer in India, there can still be discerned a certain underlying uniformity of life from the Himalayas to the Cape Cameron. So, from its long and first-hand experience in India, Vincent Smith says that the civilization of India has many features which differentiate it from that of the other regions of the world, while they are common to the whole country in degree, sufficient to justify its treatment as a unity in the history of human, social and intellectual development. Even the early Indian history unmistakably shows that the political consciousness of the people has from the very early times grasped the whole of India as a unit and assimilated the entire area as the theatre of its activities. We all must be remembering the glorious stories of Mahashivaji, who was known as a great warrior. Then we have Tipu Sultan down in the Karnataka region, who was again very, very brave. We have Raja Ranjit Singh from Punjab, whose stories of valor are very famous. So India is not a mere geographical expression, nor is it a mere collection of separate people, traditions and conventions, but India is a biggest example of a unified nation that celebrates its diversity. India is much more than this, because we have seen when it's a festivity like Holi, whether it is people from Islam religion or Christianity, everybody, all Indians, throw color on each other and they celebrate the festival together, forgetting whatever religion they are coming from. Or if it is Diwali, each and every household loves to light up its houses. They all love to have, a Christmas tree outside a house when it is Christmas. And we enjoy Sevaiya when it is Eid, a festivity, mainly in the Muslim households. So India has many races. We have many castes, we have subcastes, there are various nationalities and communities, but the heart of India is one. We all are heirs to its common, rich and diverse cultural heritage. Because our cultural heritage consists of our art and our literature, as it flourished centuries ago. If you see, each and every state is famous for its own art form. And it's very important that whether we respect one particular art form or the other, it all signifies how beautifully rich our country has been right from the past. The streams of different cultures have flowed into our subcontinent to make us what we are. And we have the richness of including people and making them our own, calling them our own, and letting them forget that they came from another part of the world. There were Dravidians in India, in South India, before the coming of the Aryans. Aryans are supposed to come from the area of Afghanistan, and they're supposed to come inside India, whereas the original inhabitants are supposed to be Dravidians. So the Hinduism is a blend of the cultures of the north and the south. So India has 150 dialects, that's quite a bit, and 22 recognized regional languages. But Hindi, like English, has come to stay as the lingua franca of our nation, because that is the official language that not only opens our window to the world and allows us to have the fragrance of different countries of the world, and the evolution in the knowledge front is, it enters our country through English. So we have respected that and allowed our countrymen to learn this language, though our mother tongue happens to be Hindi. From Kashmir to Kanyakumari and from Mumbai to Nagaland, Hindi is now understood and is recognized as a national language of India. So in Hindi, when we bow our head and fold our hands and say Namaste, even an American, an Australian, a German, or even an African is there to give us the response to our way of salutation. Our cultural heritage has been very rich, and we are the inheritors of several grand treasures in the fields of music, fine arts, dance, drama, theatre and sculpture. Our sages and seers have left behind a tradition of piety, of penance, of spiritual greatness, of conquest of passion, etc. You all must have heard of Kabir Das or Rahim or Mirabai. So all these people have given very beautiful anecdotes and singing rhythms that are still very much prevalent amongst all Indian households. Our scriptures, whether it's Ramayana or it's Mahabharata or it's Upanishads or our Ved, they are the storehouses of spiritual wisdom. Our saints have aspired to the realization of the infinite. We have inherited great spiritual values, and contrasted with which the materialistic progress of the West appears very, very insignificant, because we, the Indians, are basically very simple at heart. We believe in simple living and having high levels of thinking. The West has to learn a lot from India, the way Indians have learned from them. And it is now realized, when people in the United States and Europe are turning to the Indian way of life. When we had this time the Yoga Day, people across the world performed yoga, whether they were in the US or in Europe. Each and every person in the world today understands the meaning of yogic practice, because it aligns your mind, body and heart. And it is the best way to have a balance in your body. So our Indian yogis and maharshis and spiritual leaders have all attracted them in very big way. A significant move to project India's cultural unity has been the holding of festivals in various parts of the world. So it's Baisakhi in Punjab, in northern part of India, or it is Christianity is celebrated in the form of Christmas or Easter, or it could be Holi and Diwali. All the festivals have their own different fragrance. The West is fast inclining towards our spiritual values, which includes meditation and contemplation. So the charity, the love, the universal brotherhood and fear of God, the piety and unselfishness, control of passions and peace of mind, all these things are extremely important, because when we say our Gayatri Mantra, it gives us a lot of peace. When we say Gayatri Mantra before meditation, we all join our hands, we close our eyes and we say Gayatri Mantra like this: Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tatsavitur Vareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat. This Gayatri Mantra teaches us that our inner soul is connected with God. And when we say that each one of us have got a bit of God in us, we understand that we must love humanity. We must believe in brotherhood of mankind. This is what Indian value and wisdom is. Our cultural unity is further exemplified by the temples of South and of Khajuraho, the caves of Ajanta and Ellora, which are shining examples of India's proficiency in sculpture and architecture. Our music has come to enjoy worldwide popularity. Indian classical music, like the Indian dances, is built on the concept of ragas and talas. What are talas? Talas are something like this. When we give a tal and we give the beats, so it is completely a mathematical rendition of whatever hymns we are having. So the hymns are sung with the help of mathematical beats, and that is what makes Indian music so special, because it is systematic and it is synchronized arrangement of lyrics along with rhythm. So each raga is regarded appropriate to a certain time of the day or the night, which is very, very special Indian gift to the world. In the modern times, people like Ravi Shankar, they have taken Indian music to the West and thus bridged the gap between the music of the East and the West. He plays an instrument called sitar, which is a string instrument, and it gives a typical, beautiful, soothing sound. Our significant features of India's cultural unity are the variety in colors and the emotional richness of its dances. The dances are of various kinds. There is Kathak, there is Bharatanatyam, Odissi, we also have Bhangra, and we have Dandiya, as it is popular in Gujarat. The country abounds in its tribal dances, old dances as well as classical dance, and there is a lot of virtuosity. Throughout India, Need is regarded not merely as an accompaniment to social intercourse, but also as a mode of aesthetic expression and spiritual realization. We believe in keeping our needs to the minimum and keeping a very high thinking. The great symbol of dance is Shiva, the cosmic dancer, depicted in sculpture and poetry as Nataraja. Similarly, India has a history of more than 2000 years, and it is prevalent in its palaces, in its temples, and in its caves all over the country. The classical plays like Shakuntalam, they combines music and dance. The tragedy was and is still discouraged. Otherwise, the range of themes covered is very, very wide. In this strand of cultural unity running through the country that we are here to, and to which people in the West are increasingly turning now, I must say that we should identify those things that are today posing a threat to the unity of India. It is up to the younger generation to uphold this torch of cultural unity for the rest of the world, to see, follow, to emulate, and not to get dazed by the superficial prosperity and the material achievement of the other parts of the world, where man has set foot on the moon in a quest for space travel, but finds himself very isolated in his own society and his community. So all I have to say is that all those factors which we know are today posing a threat to Indian unity, it could be having a feeling of one man up ship, where you want to prove to the world that you're superior to the others. So the factors which are posing a threat, they could be poverty, they could be casteism, it could also be the differences between the rich and the poor. It could be the terrorism which is posing a threat. It could be migrants from other parts of the world who are coming into the country. So as India has had in the past held itself and embraced all the cultural diversity, I think we should continue to do that, and our youth of today should have the feel that their country is really supreme because of its rich cultural heritage. So unity in diversity, though this term was given by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, it really signifies beautifully the essence of us being Indians, because we believe in diversity, we respect diversity, yet we are united in thought and in action. Thank you and Jai Hind. Moving on from the unity, it's time to talk about national integration. National integration is actually a process to bring the unity among the people of different religions to create the single entity of India. It is one and the only way to remove inequality and other social issues like diversities, the racial discrimination, etc. in the society, as well as strengthening the solidarity and unity of the country. So it makes people aware about the necessity of Rashtriya Ekta by bringing equality amongst the people of different cultures. So it is positive aspect to reduce the differences of socio-cultural as well as economic as well as inequalities among the people of the country. And it is not by force, by any authority. However, it is request from people to make our country a developed country. They should share their ideas, values and other issues to enhance their emotional bonds. And this is the reason unity in diversity, which is the motto of India, in life and culture, a wide range of diversity in dress, in language, culture. Though the people of India from different states of India, different in their manners and ways of living, they are aware of the importance of national integration. So at present, the national life and unity have been broken into pieces by various divisive forces of communication, racism, provincialism and religion. So as a result, there is tension and ill feeling, there are people who are fighting, there are wars, there are arson, there are murders, riots and disturbance. So at times people of two religions quarrel with each other, leading to a lot of problems. There are problems in states like Kashmir, Darjeeling, Assam, Tripura and many other states. So the anti-nationalists, they create a reign of terror by blasting bombs, by kidnapping and murdering the leaders and even the innocent people. So the problems that exist today, the regional aspirations of the people, if they're not controlled, could be dangerous. So for the country, it is important that we all think that we all are one and not think about our own region as our only identity. Our identity is with the complete India being one. Communalism, it may encourage clashes between communities. So no community should be placed above the nation. No particular lingual group should dominate over the others, as it could cause a conflict, and we certainly don't want conflict to take place. I had conducted a survey and the results are there in front of you. When I asked the people, do you consider that there is unity in India? Most of the people have said yes, but yes, there are a sizable number of people who have said they cannot say whether it is true. And if you're asked whether you are willing to work for the nation, then there are 78% of the people have said yes for it, which shows that yes, majority of the Indian population are with the theme of working in unison. How could the unity of a country be increased was another question that I had put forth. And the answer that came, 59% of the people said, by having ignorance towards the religion. And the question was, do you think that solving Jammu and Kashmir crisis would lead to a positive impact? Most of the Indians feel yes. So yes, we really need to solve these certain issues which are causing a rift amongst the people. So what are the major disputes among the people? Majority of people feel that 59% of the people feel that majority of disputes are because of religion, and 31% feel that they are because of caste also. And what do you think that leads to the problems which are affecting the unity in India? So when we look at that, we do find that there are religion disputes, there are disputes which are because of languages, because of the problems that exist in Jammu and Kashmir. So I think if we handle each and every problem that is existing in India, we need to first have the awareness. Once our students are aware, the youth of the country is aware, then once they identify the problem and find solutions, the best possible solution would be the one that we forget about ourselves and we think only about our own country. Only then our country could be united and it could be integrated, because at the end of everything, it is our country that has given us the identity. We are known in the world because we are Indians. We feel proud when our country does well. So I would say, let us stay united, let us integrate our nation and work for one India. Unity in diversity. Let us respect this concept. Jai Hind.